I wanted to make a follow-up video on the last video I did called Where and How to Find and Buy Ammunition During a Shortage. This video created quite a bit of an uproar, especially a lengthy debate between me and a YouTuber by the name of Euphoric Impact. Now, first off, before I start this video, I am not the most tech-savvy guy at all, and I'll admit that. I want to ask for some help. Anybody who knows how to restore deleted comments on YouTube, I would like to know how to do that. Also, I want to know how to take a picture of a web page to post. If you know how to do this, I'd ask you to send me instructions in my inbox. Please do me that favor. This guy claims he's not a socialist, but if you read those comments, those of you who read it, you probably understand. And those of you who didn't read it, hopefully I can get that out for you. I believe he's a socialist, and also I believe he's a hypocrite. And I want to expose that. If you can do it, send it to my inbox. Now, let's get started. Those of you who know me know I study Austrian economics. Now, for those of you who don't know what that is, Austrian economics is the old economics. The idea that if you want wealth, you have to save money and you have to produce to sell. The modern world uses Keynesian economics. The idea that you can spend your way to wealth. Borrowed money. That's why the entire world has seen financial problems. Austrian economists saw the dot-com bubble and the housing bubble, and they're predicting the coming bond bubble. Watching this stuff and reading this stuff, that's what turned me on to Austrian economics. And I'd advise you that are interested to look into it yourself. Somebody alerted me of this, explained it to me, and I learned. Now that you've heard of it, maybe you'll do the same. I want to ask, how many of y'all that were criticizing me, being a wolf and a snake mindset, you know, how many of y'all, to stop greed, which I didn't do this, but I'm saying to stop these people that did, how many of y'all went out to gun shops and sporting goods stores and bought boxes and boxes of high-capacity magazines and then turned around and sold them on Gunbroker or put them on Buy It Now on eBay or on Craigslist for the sticker price, what you bought them for? No one. No one did that shit. So, you know, this, well, I wouldn't do that. Well, no, you didn't. And you didn't help other people either. If you bought magazines, you probably bought them for the same reasons I did. You knew that there was a horrible tragedy at an elementary school called Sandy Hook. Lots of innocent children were killed. And there was a strong anti-gun movement for banning assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. And it seemed to be gaining some momentum. The idea was, if you cannot buy something tomorrow, you'll buy it today. Not literally tomorrow, but you get my point. They wanted to buy it to get grandfathered in. And y'all know that shit's the truth. Now, there were some people that decided to, you know, price gouge. Am I saying that's right? No, I'm not saying that. Am I saying they have a right to sell it at a high price if they want to? Yes. But I'm also saying you have the right to refuse them. Here's what I'm saying. If there was a website that you noticed that jacked up the prices and they had a huge inventory, you have the right to boycott their ass. You send them an email, you write them a letter, you call them up. Hey, I'm boycotting you because you were taking advantage of this critical situation or whatever. You have the right to do that. I believe people make up their own minds. And if you want to do that, hey, do that. It's your money. You have every right to do that. But if you thought you'd never see magazines again, and you're going to get them now and get grandfathered, and you wanted to buy them now and sleep sound knowing that you had them, you have the right to do that too. That's what I'm saying. I know that most of y'all would agree with me that politicians don't give a shit about us. They'll tell you something that sounds great. What sounds better for election? And just listen to me. If you vote for me, I'll protect you from people that try to take advantage of a critical situation. Or saying the free market has worked things out and will let it sort its way out naturally. Which one's a lot more likely to get you voted? Obviously, I'm going to do something about it. But it's lies. I used an example of gasoline. And those of y'all, listen to me and hear me out before you start leaving all kinds of comments. If you know Austrian economics, debate me. And if you don't, if this is new to you, listen to first. It was new to me at one time. And not that long ago. I used a gasoline example. And I'm going to use my own home city, my own, we use Austin, Texas as the example. Let's say that there was a horrible natural disaster here in Austin, Texas. And gasoline got cut off. There was a tight supply. Now, by the way, Euphoric Impact says he understands supply and demand and economics, but if you read the comments, if I can post them, you'll see otherwise. But let's say in Austin, there's a tight supply. Well, demand goes up. Demand drives up prices. That's basic. Now, what happens? There's two things that happen there. One, people that want to help. Good-hearted people that want to help fellow, Americans. Or hell, not even fellow Americans. Look at it. Look at all the Haiti and all this other disasters. We help. People help each other. Now, let's say that something happens in Austin. They come down with gasoline, which has a shortage, and clothes and water and food. And that's great. But more people will hear that, hey, prices are sky high in gasoline in Austin. Let's go down there and make some money. Well, what happens when people all over the nation rush to Austin, Texas with gasoline? Austin has a tight and limited supply of gasoline. And then shitloads of gallons of gasoline come in. Well, the supply increases. Demand goes down. You see, one guy is selling his gasoline for $10 a gallon. And the guy next to him, well, he's got to undercut him. And he puts his gasoline to $9.50 a gallon. And then the other guy, well, hell, I'm going to take both of their customers and put mine at $8.50. And another guy, I'm going to take his customers and sell it at $8. Trying to undercut each other and make it up on volume. That brings in supply. That's what used to happen. Politicians won't tell you this shit. They want you to vote them in and pass laws that they're exempt from and keep their cushy positions. A business cannot run on a loss. Let's say that they were forced to keep their prices at a regular rate. And then gasoline costs more for them to get it. Well, if they sell it lower, they go out of business. Do I think it's right that a guy that, let's say a guy owns a little convenience store and sells gasoline, is it right that he's going to sell it and lose his life savings because something happened in a month? All his life work and his way of life is gone? No. He has the right to shut down if he wants to. Now, he can try and do his best, and that's great. But you can't expect him to throw his life away to help people for a week. Now, with the magazine example, those of you who own guns know that guns are a fine-tuned weapon. They're very precise. They deal with tremendous pressures and movement. They break down. Magazines break down. People thought, I'm not going to be able to buy a magazine tomorrow that holds 30 rounds. I'm going to buy it today. I'm going to get grandfathered in because I'll never get them. It's worth paying double the price if I got it for sure because they'll be illegal later. That's what I thought. I thought there was a great chance this might happen because there was so much momentum. I'm glad it didn't, but I didn't know that. For those of y'all with a crystal ball, hey man, more power to you. Now let's get into this debate because I'll use him. He was the perfect example. He told me that I'm hiding behind the idea of consent because I use the idea of two consenting adults. I saw on eBay people list 10-round AR magazines for 99 cents starting bid. Where is the illusion of consent that people all over the nation bid that up to like 90 bucks? I think they paid way too much. But they're the ones that rose the price that high. Where's the illusion that somebody, did somebody have a gun to all these guys' heads making them jack up the price? No, they did it because they wanted to make sure. They were wrong, but they wanted to be sure. You have the right to do what you want. Let's say you take issue with the company selling magazines online. You know they have a massive warehouse and they raise their prices. You have the right to boycott their ass. You can call them, you can email them, you can write them a letter. You try to screw me in a panic situation, and I'm boycotting you from now on. You got the right to do that. I'm saying you got the right to do that. I encourage you to do that if that's what you want to do. There's nothing wrong with that. We're all big boys, all big girls. You have the right to do whatever you want with your money. He said the free market does not punish those who do, I think he called it predatory pricing, boycott, like he was recommending. Boycott, that non-existent punishment that doesn't exist in the free market, like Walmart, when people start buying American, that had no impact on their profit when people stopped buying there. Are you kidding me? I used the example of the free market, where inventors invent things to make their life better, make profit, and change their lives. I'm going to use I use a dishwasher and a washing machine in the example. Whoever, and I don't know who it was, whoever invented the dishwasher or the washing machine, either or of those guys, it could have been the same person for all I know, which I doubt, but who knows, created the washing machine. Maybe it was a woman. But you know what? I'm tired of scrubbing clothes or washing dishes all day. There's got to be an easier way. And she comes up with a device that washes it for her or makes it easier. This really changes my life. People would be interested in buying this. Let me mass produce this. And they mass produce it. They start selling it. She makes a lot of money because people buying it. And then people buy it and their lives are easier. Her life has changed the most because she makes money. And everybody else's life gets improved because they have a washing machine or a dishwasher. And that's how the free market works. He said that inventors don't do that for money. That's greed. You do it to better mankind. And he was saying he knows. He's applying for a patent. Whoa, wait a minute. A patent? Wait a minute. But that's for money. A patent, if he really believed that that was the case for inventors, why would he waste time and money on a patent that protects potential profit? Profit. He's a hypocrite. If he really cared, like I said, you would donate it. I don't know what his invention was. He didn't tell me. But you would send plans to every single company that could manufacture it and say, look, you can produce this, but you can't have royalties on it. You can just produce it. I'll give you my consent. Sign it. There you go. Maybe there's some more legalities to it, but you get the idea. And then everybody would produce it. There'd be a shitload on the market, and the price would go down, and he'd better everybody's life. And instead, he's being a hypocrite, and he's applying for a patent to protect potential profit. Profit. Fucking hypocrite. He says that I don't understand supply and demand. That I'm comparing ammunition to gold or a precious metal like platinum or something. Well, yes, supply and demand goes to everything. Everything. Gold is expensive because there's a limited supply and demand is high. It's rare. Aluminum was once more precious than gold. We learned how to extract aluminum from ore, and now it's almost worthless because there is a huge supply. Ammunition, people are hoarding it up. They're not letting it go. Magazines, they're not letting it go. There's none on the shelf. That's a tight supply. That creates a high demand. Prices go up. That goes to everything. Let's say I wake up tomorrow and I want a fucking ostrich egg for breakfast. That's going to cost me some money, is it not? Same day delivery, and then wherever the hell you buy ostrich eggs? I can't just go run to the grocery store and buy ostrich eggs. There's a very limited supply. That means prices are high. Right? He said the free market doesn't work. Has he not heard of eBay, where people make their own prices, or people bid up, or people buy it now and someone wants it at that price? Or Craigslist, where people buy, sell, barter, trade? That's free market is all get out. This bullshit illusion that you can make things fair, price gouging. Does he ever go to the movie theater? What the hell does it cost to make popcorn? You buy a pallet of popcorn. What is it like? I don't know, hell, less than $1 a pound? And then you're selling it for $8 for a fucking bucket that weighs almost nothing? And then you salt the shit out of it and you got sodas there for $8? Does he boycott them? Does he go to the movies? Do people boycott him to talk about price gouging? Fuck no. I go to the movies every now and then. I understand, hey, look, it's worth it to me this time. That's the way it should work. People that say, hey, look, you're taking advantage of a critical situation or, a bad timing. What about a babysitter? Do you criticize the babysitter? The babysitter, you get a babysitter for your kids. Let's say it's Tuesday night. The rates are going to be different than if you charge, she's charging on a Friday night. If she is going to waste her Friday night when there's a lot of people asking for her, it's going to be worth her while. It's going to be a higher price. The same thing with the guy with the magazine. Hey, look, I'm never going to see this magazine again in my life. It's going to be outlawed here. If I'm going to part with it, it's got to be worth my while. The girl says, you know what? If I'm going to waste my Friday night instead of being out with my friends, partying, I am going to make it worth my while. It's the same thing. You can't pick and choose. And what about this trying to make things fair? You can't make it. The world is not fair. You have to live with that. Let's use this example. Look at me here. Let's say I want to go to the movies. Let's say I want to go out to dinner. Let's say I want to have a drink. It's going to cost me. Is it fair that some young college girl with big tits can't remember to save her life the last time she paid for dinner or a movie theater or a drink? No. Do I care? No. Hey, she got dealt that hand. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the way it is. What about somebody out there, hey, look, this guy does porn. He has a fucking forearm down there. And the rest of us got standard issue. Is that fair? No. What can you do about it? Life isn't fair. But you can't change that. You do what you want to do to the best of your ability, and you make up your own mind. You're an adult. It doesn't make sense to me that somebody is too stupid to make their own mind, and we got to set a law or stop this or that, or this guy's wrong or evil. That guy shouldn't buy this magazine at this price because it's not right. If he thinks he's never going to see it again, he has the right to pay whatever he wants so he can have it and get grandfathered in. Does it make sense that he's too stupid to make up his own mind when it comes to his money? Yet, everybody deserves a vote. It's one or the other. Either people are intelligent enough to make up their own mind and decide what's best in their own interest, or they're stupid. I think that we can make up our own mind. I think that we're all big girls, all big boys, and we can make up our own decisions. I simply don't understand that.